when you're dealing with superheroes, and especially when you're dealing with like intergalactic stuff and you're dealing with people that have powers or characters that have powers, have you found any like, or let me ask you this, just putting it plain, what is the difference in approach? Because I know that we take a character like a Superman as an example. Some people have argued that, not saying that this is your position, but some people have argued that he's a difficult character to write because he's really, really strong, right? So with you and how you've done everybody from, you have what you're doing with Nexus, you also have done things like, or with a character like Flash, right? And then you have, of course, like a Punisher, right, who has no power. So you have a big time, let's say, discrepancy or differentiation between those characters and how they actually operate. From a storytelling perspective, do you find one more or less difficult of a story to tell when you're dealing with a character, especially a powerful character that has, let's say, a very, very interesting or intriguing or powerful ability like that versus another one that may have no actual superpower outside of like a Gooding, right, where his superpower, if he has one, is in his mind?
Oh, you have to approach each character individually. The most important thing is that you take it seriously, that the story take itself seriously. I know that I don't enjoy a movie unless it takes itself seriously. And I'll give you an example of that. Alien and Aliens are two of my favorite movies because you believe in those worlds right down to the bolts on the bulkhead. I was looking forward to Cocaine Bear because I thought a horror movie based on a bear that ingests cocaine and goes crazy could be very effective. But when I watched it, it was half jokey and
Yeah,
half-assed, and
yeah.
it did not take itself seriously, so I couldn't get into it. I approach each character, especially if it's not of my own creation, I approach it slowly, and I start making notes in a notepad. And for anybody who wants to be a writer, uh, carry a notepad and pen with you at all times and write down anything that strikes you as interesting. If I were asked to do a Superman story, uh, I would approach him as a human being and try to understand his personality. And of course, he can't be all powerful, or there would be no drama. And that's why kryptonite exists and other
Yeah.
things as well. Uh, but I think I could get into the personality of Superman and or Clark Kent and make them not only interesting but vital and entertaining. Uh, and I think that's been lacking in a lot of those stories. And one of the reasons is there have been a million Superman stories. There have been a million Batman stories, and uh, not all of them measure up, nor could they.
Yeah.
Uh, the ones that measure up are the ones that really think about the character, what makes him, her, or it tick, and takes them seriously and constructs a world that the reader believes in. And that's the most important thing, is to make it credible, to make it real. And that doesn't mean that you're stuck in the here and now. As I said, Alien and Aliens, or the Lord of the Rings.
Yeah. Yeah.
Those Lord of the Rings movies, I believe in them. They take themselves seriously, and so we take them seriously. It's not enough to take yourself seriously, of course. You have to provide thrills, adventures, ups and downs. And the path of a story is a dynamic narrative with a beginning, a middle, and an end. And by dynamic, I mean that the story is always in question. You don't know what's going to happen. The hero was up, the hero was down. And that's the secret to chapter headings as well. As we all know, a good chapter ends either with a note of finality or a little bit of a cliffhanger to keep you reading. What happens next? What happens next is the most important question in fiction, because if the reader doesn't care, he's not going to turn the page.
Right.
So you have to make the reader care. Well, how do you do that? I already outlined several ways. A fascinating character, fascinating situation, seductive narrative voice. There are a million other things that you can do in a story to make the reader care. But those are the three main ones that I envision.
Thanks for watching. Right now, the Rippaverse is in the middle of our latest campaign, Yaira #1, which was written by the Saskas. Head over to Rippaverse.com, pre-order, and check out our first live-action trailer and the latest Rippaverse Studios production, Y'all Be Easy.